Hi everyone, and welcome to another CTC webinar. In this webinar, we will be covering the AutoCAD 2019 new features. Before we get started, this video is being recorded, and also there is the question panel on the board. If you have any questions during the webinar, please propose them. If I have the answer as we go through and I see it, we'll answer at the time, or we will save it for the end. So with that out of the way, let's get right into the video of this new features. With this release of AutoCAD 2019, Autodesk made some changes of their license thing, the structure, in the regards that if you were to purchase AutoCAD 2019, you will gain access to some other products, and also there are some other features that we'll talk about with industry in particular, and then also some workflows in regarding spanning across the desktop, web, mobile, and also DWG Compare, which we will touch on once we get into the software. So here are the new features in AutoCAD 2019. The first one that we'll touch on is AutoCAD 1, or One AutoCAD, and AutoCAD specialized tool sets, and what that means, and also just mention how you can utilize this to your benefit. We'll just talk about the different setups there. The user interface has been changed and modified a little bit. It's more of an enhancement, not necessarily a new feature. In the regards that they didn't completely get rid of the old interface with the ribbon. It's just they enhanced it. They also enhance the 2D graphics, the performance, in the speed of that it updates the graphics, making it much faster to do certain things. The graphics respond much faster. And also shared views. This is an enhancement. Shared views has been around for a little bit, but with the AutoCAD 2019 release, they have made some improvements of just how you can go about sharing these views and how you can look at them and who has access. So it's just been enhanced. So if you have not used that, we'll touch on it to how you can go about sharing views and what it means. And then also a new feature added is the ability to save to web and mobile. This was just added with this release to be able to save to these two other formats that you can then access these somewhere else. So as long as you have a web browser and a mobile, you can access your CAD files and make some updates. And then you can come back to the desktop to make some things as well. And then the last feature is DWG Compare. This was the ability to compare a couple of DWGs from one another to see what has changed. We actually have some samples of what we'll talk about there, and we'll just kind of play around with it and show you what it does. So let's get into the first one, with the AutoCAD 19 feature of One AutoCAD with specialized tool sets. And basically what this is if you were to purchase AutoCAD 2019, you will gain access automatically to a lot of the vertical products that Autodesk has already made, including AutoCAD Architecture, AutoCAD Electrical, AutoCAD Map 3D, AutoCAD Mechanical, AutoCAD MEP, AutoCAD Plant 3D, and AutoCAD Raster Design. So if you have a license of AutoCAD 2019 with the specialized tool sets, you get these other software already. Now, the misunderstanding that currently is out there, it's kind of hard to understand what this is. It's not necessarily One AutoCAD as it sounds, that you install AutoCAD and you automatically have access to all these other features within that platform. It's actually a separate software that you still have to download and install. So it's not like, again, you open AutoCAD and you switch to an architecture interface. You actually have to download and install AutoCAD Architecture. It's just your license is through just One AutoCAD. If you purchase AutoCAD, you don't have to purchase AutoCAD Architecture or AutoCAD MEP or those other verticals. You just get access to it to install. So from everything you can find, it seems that it's one AutoCAD that you open and install, but it is not. It is a separate piece of software. So it's just like it is normally from what you had to do before. Now again, this is just for AutoCAD. If you were to purchase that, if you have the AEC collection, you already have a lot of these softwares in there. And for more details on the other options of that, you might want to talk to your account rep here at CTC for more details on about the AEC, if there's some changes that they're going to add in these other softwares and how to do that. But as far as in the regard of just getting AutoCAD, you get access to these other ones. And at this point, when I looked into this as the AutoCAD feature, the existing purchases of just plain AutoCAD at this time will not be converted to the AutoCAD specialized tool sets. I don't know if AutoCAD is going to make a change where you can request that and then it gets switched over. But if you do have a license of plain AutoCAD and you want to look into adding the specialized tool set, please contact your account rep to see if there is a possibility of converting it to the AutoCAD specialized tool sets. I got a question that pops up. Does AutoCAD LT include the specialized tool sets? No, it does not. AutoCAD LT is not included, and it also doesn't include the specialized tool sets. This is just for plain AutoCAD. So let's move on to the new interface. With AutoCAD 2019, they made the updates to the user interface of changing the new, making a new icon appearance. And as you can see here on the screen, they have just the icons for the commands. They're all the same icons. It's just they changed the appearance of them and just made it have a little bit different of a graphics to it. I'm actually a pretty good fan of it. It's a simple one. It doesn't have the some things that some people would like. And I actually noticed they actually did change the trim command. It's actually now a piece of scissors cutting something, whereas in the old version it was just something else. And then I see the offset command has been changed actually as well. It used to have a little bump on it, and then it would come around here. Now they just changed it to this icon here. So again, the interface change. Again, same ribbon, just new button appearance. And once we actually get into the software and I show it off, you'll see the same thing there. And then the application menu has also been changed a little bit. Again, same icons or similar icons, just a different appearance. And also 4K enhancements, making it easier on the higher resolution monitors to display the icons and some of those and changes that have been coming out since the 4K. So if you have a 4K monitor, there's enhancements that you have a benefit of on the 19 release. Also, 2D graphics. The enhancements that they made here is faster zoom and pan, changing of the draw order and layer properties. They wanted to increase the performance that you will see when you're making these changes, faster zooming and panning of that regen rate, much faster for that. I've played with it a little bit, and you can notice that there is a small difference between it. I mean, or not a small difference, but it's faster. That makes it easier to then get to where you're wanting. So you can, if you have a decent computer, then it may be faster now on those computers. And then also changing draw order and seeing those changes happen really quick compared to before, where it takes a little bit to see those changes take effect when you're doing a preview. And also property changes when you go to change a layer or you go to change the color of it. You got to see what the preview of it. That's going to be much faster to display that and just make some enhancements there. And move on to the next feature, which is shared views. Again, this is more of an enhancement than it is a new feature. They just changed how you can go about sharing these views and kind of some processes that you can do. And with this, you can publish design views of your drawing to a web browser for viewing. And also you can add comments to these shared views. And as a subscriber, so if you have a purchase copy of AutoCAD, you automatically get access to this right away. And you can control what is being shared. When you go to share the view, you have current view only, or you can share the model view and all layout views. So if you had sheets that you wanted to share those as well, you can specify that to share it. And then you have an option of if there's 3D stuff, you can create 2D view only. If you have that unchecked, you can do a 3D, but if you check it, it will only do a 2D. And then you also have share object properties. And share object properties, if you go into the viewer and you pick on an object, you will be able to see the properties of the object. If you don't share the object properties, they won't get access to it. They'll just be able to look at it, and that's it. And then as a subscriber, only subscribers can share the views, but anyone signed into their Autodesk ID can add comments. So if someone has access to the shared views that you have here, someone can add a comment. So if you send the shared view to someone and they log in with their Autodesk ID, they can add a comment to it. Now, if they don't have access to that shared view, if you don't share it with them or invite them to look at it, it's not just open to the public. You have to pick someone and have them get access to it, not just anyone, and can go up there and start commenting on your stuff. And also the processing, when you go to share a view, the background processing of the shared views is ready. You hit the go. And then in the background, it will start sharing that view. It will process it, upload it to the website where you can view it. But in the meantime, you could just keep working. So you can go back to your normal stuff and work. Also, you do have the option to don't show this message again. If you choose to not want to get this message every time you say process, you simply say share, and it will do it. You won't have to click another button. Now, again, this is just an enhancement of being able to share those views and how you share them and what you can change about it. That's the enhancement that they made, is just the simplicity of being able to do that, and then be able to provide these these files to someone that they can view in a browser, making it where you don't have to send the DBG. You could just hit a shared view and they can view it there. The next feature is the Save to Web and Mobile. And with this Save to Web and Mobile, there are two ways to do this. In the Save As dialog in the application menu, you will be able to see this Save As to Drawing to AutoCAD Web and Mobile. But also on the Quick Access toolbar, you will see two icons of Open from Web and Mobile or from Cloud, and then Save to Web and Cloud. So if you click these little buttons, you will be able to do that. Now, the first time you click on these buttons, you will have to install a little utility, and it happens pretty quick. You don't actually have to close and reopen AutoCAD. You just simply click this, install it, and you're ready to go. And then once you save to Web and Mobile, you will be able to pick where you want that to be stored. So you'll be able to pick a folder. You'll be able to create a folder in there and upload it to that location for Web and Mobile. And then whenever you access it through the web, you can go to your account, your Autodesk or your A360 there to look at this file, and you can make edits on the web and mobile. So you could be in the field and you can access the web or mobile version of the file. You can make edits to that file, change in the field so they're editable, and then save it back to the cloud. And then back on the desktop, you can open that file from the cloud so that you can look at the changes that were made in the field. Now, these changes that are made while on the web and mobile version are only saved in the cloud. They are not saved to the desktop once you open it back on the desktop version of the software. So you would have to do a save as and replace the version of the file that's either on your desktop or your server with this updated copy from the web and mobile. So each user would be able to do this, but again, if they get that open that file, they would have to do save as to replace on the server version of it. And then the last feature that they added is DWG Compare. And this lets you compare two DWG files from one another, and then it will color code it based on the colors that you assign. And then it will create a separate DWG file that will actually show you the comparison between them. It will show you up on the ribbon. It will have what one DWG color is and what the other DWG color is. And then it will also place a revision cloud around the objects that have changed, so it makes it easier to access, see right away what has been changed and also the color. But again, the revision cloud helps that it zooms right to it. And then you have control to be able to change the color after you create the comparison or before you create the comparison. You can change the colors. Then also you can turn off the revision clouds if you don't want to see them. Or you can change the shape of the revision cloud from a rectangular to a polygonal, and then you could adjust how big that revision cloud is, or the size of it, and how precise is it going to get. So if it's a big change, it might be a bigger box, but if you kind of shrink the margin of it, it might grow bigger and make a massive area or a smaller area closer to the change. And I'll actually show this off here. Plus some of the other stuff is just so. Let me get into my software, and I'm going to open up one of the sample files here just to show, just to start off with, of the feature here of the new icons. So you can just see just the icon change. If I go to the application menu, just these icons are just slightly different from the older versions. Still same icons, just a slightly different appearance. And then right here on the quick access toolbar, there's the open from web and mobile, and then the save to web and mobile. And then also in the application menu, open, drawings from web and mobile, and then also the save as, drawings to web and mobile. So if I do a save as here to web and mobile, again, I've already installed the little utility, but again, the first time you install it, it's going to pop up and ask to install it. And then I just come up here and I could pick, see here's my web and mobile. Then I show all my files that I've had uploaded before. And then I could just come down here and say what the file name is, and then I just save. And then I will have access to look at these on the web and mobile. Once I sign in, I can access those files and make changes there. And then when those changes have been made, so I'm going to close out of that file. I'm going to open from the web and mobile, grab my file and open it. And then when I do that, it's going to open it up here. And then now if I save, it's going to be saving back to the cloud. But if I do a save as, I can replace the file here. So you can see here that it actually does default. It's downloading it to a kind of a cache folder. You can see here the path of it, web and mobile data. So it does save a cache, but then you can save this file somewhere else if you choose. And actually, while I'm speaking of the save changes here, the DWG format is still the same, 2018. There's not a new version, so again, they haven't updated it yet. They're not probably going to update it for a couple releases. And I'm going to open this file here, and if I go to the View tab, there is the Shared View dialog box here. I just had it actually. I forgot where the button is located. Well, there is the shared view dialog that you can bring up to be able to start those shared views so that you can share those with others. I'm not sure if maybe Maybe I'm in the cloud version of this file and that's why I'm not seeing it. So let me close this file and make sure I open up my other file here. Yeah, I don't remember where that button got put here, but there is a palette that will show up that you can do. Maybe it's there is a new tab. That's why I forgot where it was. I think on another version it was on a different tab. So it's on the Collaborate tab, Shared Views, and this is where you can create a new shared view or see an existing views that you might have published. And right here I got one that I already did. And if you click on it, you'll see a list of all the comments. And then also I could say add a comment and be able to put something there of some other comment. And then also there's the dots where you can show that's resolved, view in the browser, you can copy the link, you can extend it, and you can delete it from the browser so that no one else can see it. So you can see here it expires in a certain length of time. And if I go to create one, it has an automatic time that it will expire. You don't get to set that. It just kind of has that expiration on its own. But you can extend it if you need to. And also here on the Collaborate tab is also the DWG Compare. So this is where I can browse to a file. So I don't even actually have to be in the file. I could hit the three dots and browse to any file that I want. But I already have this DWG open. And then I can come in here and browse to another file. So I'm going to browse to one of my other files I saved that they are different from one another. So that you can see the changes between them. So I have a sample, I'm going to do a sample 3 here. So I have quite a bit of a changes made to that one. And then here's where again I can customize the colors to what I want them to be. And then when I create that comparison, it actually creates another file that you can save if you want to keep this file so you can open it later. But here you can see the colors up here on top. Again, I can customize those colors after I create the comparison. So here, common on both, so you can see a lot of common. And then in here you see the cloud of what has been changed around all the objects. One color is one thing, and if I zoom in here, you can see in one file there was a computer right here, and now it's been moved around somewhere else. Over here, this is completely brand new. Down here, it's been changed. These are now stretched out longer. And then if I come up here, there's the revision clouds. I can turn them on or off. I could set the size of those. So here, if I make that a little bit bigger, you can see this one just kind of all of a sudden jumps, and it shows that, hey, this whole portion here, just push it a little bit closer to see them. And also it tells you how many here. And then you can click these little arrows here to jump between them. So it's a really nice feature just to be able to kind of go through them and figure out what is different between. Now if I come back in here and manually kind of zoom back to the whole thing, it doesn't update the number, but you can make those changes. And then also change between rectangular and polygonal. And if you say polygonal, it's more precise. You can see here it jumps in and goes around instead of just comes all the way up. So it kind of follows everything that is different. And then again, if I push the margin in closer, it's a little bit more precise of what has been changed. And then drawing information pops up, and then you can see what the files are, when they were saved, how long between them, and so on. And then even inserting a drawing. So I'm going to put this little text here, a little box. Gives me a little table. Move that over. I didn't place it right, but then it shows you just kind of the two here. Here's the what all that is. And then the other one that I looked into as well is if I go into the layer dialog here, layer properties, it'll actually create layers, and it'll name them DWG1, DWG2, and then you'll kind of go through here and you can see what all is different in here for layer wise, because it doesn't really, one thing is it doesn't pick up on a change of just simply just the change of a color. So if I have an object in here and I change the color of it, it doesn't pick up on that color change. It only picks up on its move if it's moved, and it puts a revision cloud around it. However, if I go into layer properties, and I see that DBG1 is this color and DBG is a different color, it still picks up on that. Instead of it changing it to 8, because it was saying everything on this layer is this color, everything on this layer is this color, so it's the same color. But if it was different, like this right here, magenta, magenta, that means something has changed on those two layers, but it shows it as magenta. And again, this actually does bring these in as blocks. So it does put everything on a block, and it changes the properties of those objects to be overridden to make them this color or this color, because there's some things in here that are not magenta, but it shows in the layer that it is, so it's been overridden to do that. Now, currently at this time, you cannot compare more than 2 DBGs from one another, but you can do a comparison of one DBG to another, and then save that, and maybe run a comparison between another files to save those. But you cannot, that I've been able to find, I cannot compare a comparison to something else. So once this file is created, I cannot compare this to another drawing or another comparison. It has to be that. So I've actually already jumped into all that. So that is the new features for AutoCAD 2019. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, go ahead and propose those, and we'll go over them. But if I'm waiting for the questions here, some up and coming sessions. We do have one coming up here shortly about inviting users outside your firm into your Hive for our new Hive suite. And also next week, we have the new features for Revit 2019 in regards of the for structural engineers. So if you have the Revit structure in want to look at those, join us on May 2nd. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions come through, so thank you for watching and joining, and I hope you have a great day.